Hello friends, this is Kik, and in today's episode you can expect Google to finally admit to lying. Apple releases the correct ad for the new iPad Pro, programmable implants that improve bone healing, an elastic touchscreen with an unusual tactile response from Foggy Albion, Cadillac, which introduced a luxurious electric crossover starting at $54,000. Lilium air taxis will appear in the south of France in just 2 years, and the fire tests of Ursa Major's hypersonic engine have been successfully completed. All this and much more right now. Let's go! We start today's episode with the Good Corporation, which admitted that it actually lied about site ranking methods. At the end of May, 2,500 internal Google documents revealing the workings of the search engine were leaked. Now the company itself has confirmed the authenticity of the leaked data, previously evasive in its comments. The leaked information reveals methods of tracking user clicks, data from the Chrome browser, and other sources, despite Google's previous public statements that this data does not affect the ranking of web pages. These data became available thanks to Ursa Major, who discovered and posted them on GitHub. He recorded a video statement about his motives, stating that he wanted to expose the company's lies and help specialists in the SEO industry, not pursuing financial interests. Among the leaked data, several key points stand out. Firstly, Google actually uses the site authority metric despite repeated public denials. Secondly, the documents show that user clicks affect ranking, which also contradicts the company's official statements. This data indicates that Google deliberately misled SEO specialists. The published documents give several hints on how to build a site promotion strategy. For example, the documents emphasize the importance of indicating the exact publication dates of content. Their mismatch can negatively affect page ranking. Google also considers trust metrics and the page rank of the main page to assess all site pages. Links to the main page have a significant impact. The search engine may intentionally lower the rating of small sites that are evasively called personal in the document, using special flags for their identification. Google representatives commented on the situation, urging not to make hasty conclusions based on information taken out of context. They noted that the company has already shared extensive information on how the search works and continues to work to protect its systems from manipulation. But all this indicates clear contradictions between the company's statements and reality. Not long ago, we told you that Apple had to apologize for the unsuccessful ad for its tablet based on the M4 processor. To smooth over the awkward situation, the company released another video dedicated to the device. This time, it focused not on destruction but on content creation, and judging by the ratings on YouTube, the audience appreciated it. The video's plot revolves around 3 stories happening to the main heroine, played by actress Sophia Wiley in different virtual worlds, each with its animated background. The company indicated in the video description that all video segments were created by animators using the new iPad Pro. We don't know about you, but we found the previous video bolder than the new one. Share your impressions with us. Meanwhile, according to a report from the Environmental Defense Agency, EDA, citing a study by Recurrent, after just 3 years, the average battery capacity of the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y reaches 64% of the original indicators. Even if the car is not used at all, the battery charge can decrease by about a quarter. Recurrent's research is based on data from 7,078 Model 3 electric cars and 5,120 Model Y vehicles. For more accurate statistics, the company used approximately 1.6 million observations, or 130 observations per electric car. Even at a speed of 0 km/h, or when the car is idle, the battery range decreases to 70 to 72.5%. Thus, after 3 years, the Tesla Model 3 Performance with 0 mileage will reduce its own range from 5.5 to 370 km per charge. The fact is that EDA testing protocols do not take into account changes in temperature or car movement at speeds above 100 km/h. But there is good news for Elon and all fans of the brand. For example, Tesla car batteries are not as prone to capacity reduction when compared to other manufacturers. Let's move on. Scientists from the universities of Illinois and Beijing have combined machine learning and 3D printing technologies to create a material that mimics human bone. The discovery will allow the creation of orthopedic implants for patients. Treating femur fractures involves surgical procedures using metal plates. Such plates are attached to the damaged areas with screws, which can lead to complications in the future. But the scientists found an alternative. They used 3D printing to create a polymer prototype from biomaterial. The authors of the experiment then attached it to a synthetic model of a broken femur bone. The technology involves using artificial intelligence to create a material that mimics bone. The research will allow medical institution staff to create biocomponents capable of stimulating bone healing. At the same time, the technology can be used with different types of materials, including metals and polymers, for creating biological implants. Researchers from the University of Bath in the United Kingdom have developed a prototype of a soft touch display that allows interaction with digital objects as if they were real. For example, it can be used to feel the firmness of a pillow before buying or to delete files on a PC by simply crushing them with your fingers. The prototype, called Deform.io, is a type of resistive screen with technology reminiscent of Apple's Force Touch. The 25 cm display can respond to the force of a touch and change its stiffness using silicone components and a pneumatic system. According to the developers, such a panel can recognize multiple simultaneous touches. In addition to touch, the user gets another level of interaction with the smartphone in the form of pressure force, and a new way of feedback in the form of screen stiffness. Possible areas of application cited by the researchers are not only smartphones. For example, new screens can replace physical buttons in cars or control elements in handheld consoles. Additionally, the new technology can be used in medical training. Medics can palpate the screen and feel its resistance as if it were human tissues. Another function is remote tactile contact between people. A speaker can touch the screen and feel it become softer or harder depending on whether the other person is touching their screen. The developers note that the technology is not yet perfect and it may take several years before it is implemented in everyday life. General Motors has introduced the third electric vehicle under the Cadillac brand, a compact 5-seat crossover Optique. The new model features dynamic design, a large range, and a reasonable price. It is one of the most budget-friendly vehicles in the luxury brand's lineup. The cost of the Optique starts at $54,000, making it one of the most affordable models in the Cadillac lineup. This is much cheaper than other models, such as the Lyriq starting at $64,000 or the exclusive Celestiq at $340,000. However, the car does not look like a budget model. On the contrary, it retains the signature style of Cadillac. Generally, Cadillac positions the Optique as an entry-level model, as evidenced by its price. Nevertheless, it is a full-fledged luxury vehicle with rich equipment. Standard features include all-wheel drive with 2 electric motors, the autonomous driving system Super Cruise, built-in software based on Android from Google, and many other options. In addition to the US, the new model will also be available in Europe and several other international markets in 2 configurations, luxury and sport. The company hopes that the more democratic price and compact dimensions will attract young buyers, whose attention Cadillac is actively trying to win as part of the transition to electric cars. The model will go on sale this fall, and later 2 more electric cars, Escalade IQ and Vistic, will join. Now let's take to the sky. eVTOL developer Lilium has signed a new partnership agreement that will allow it to start operations in the south of France as well as other parts of Europe. Lilium will begin operational activities with eVTOL in the south of France, a popular tourist destination visited by 11 million tourists annually. The company intends to develop and implement a network of vertiports in the south of France to support regional flights on eVTOL aircraft along popular routes, including Monaco, Nice, Cannes, Gulf of Saint-Tropez, Aix-en-Provence, and Marseille. Frank Goldnadel, chairman of the board of the Côte d'Azur Airports, noted that the area offers a unique opportunity to fly over the sea and directly connect major economic, cultural, and tourist destinations. The startup reports that it is already in negotiations with several regional aviation operators interested in acquiring its fully electric aircraft for transporting tourists between these future vertiports. The French Riviera, better known as the Côte d'Azur, has already committed to offsetting emissions and achieving carbon neutrality by 2030. Lilium hopes that its eVTOL and vertiport infrastructure knowledge will not only help reduce local emissions, but also provide tourists in France with faster and quieter air travel. Well, what a kick without space. The American startup Ursa Major has successfully completed ground tests of a new liquid rocket engine, which is being developed with money from the US Air Force. The Draper engine uses non-cryogenic fuel in a combination of hydrogen peroxide and kerosene, which provides simplified storage compared to liquid oxygen engines. Non-cryogenic fuel remains in a liquid state at room temperature and is considered preferable in conditions where long-term storage is necessary, for example in lunar rovers. The closed-cycle design means that the supply of kerosene can be completely stopped and the engine will run either only on hydrogen peroxide or on peroxide and kerosene. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on high-tech news. Peace to your home.